All right. Well, we pick back up outside of the Lucky Lady, having the party having felt as though they may have learned some lessons from this fight, gathered enough information to better themselves. As I believe, what we greet you at level 7 now, is it?
Yeah.
Nice. Um, Standing here, lots of crustacean-like entities in various states of dismemberment on the docks. What would y'all like to do?
Um, First, I think we're gonna. Did we get the roasted crab and give it to Lydia? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
we
even
can.
know if we know where is Lydia still around the bar, the tavern.
You can go see.
Lydia, where are you?
You hear a voice shout out from some distance away. Is it over?
It's over now.
And some shuffling. It was the sound of a little bit of rubble moving, and then she pokes her head out of the hole where the back door of the bar used to be. Hi, that's gonna be expensive to fix. What happened out here?
You know the
What the hell is that?
do you know the crabs that were mentioned about Harbor Watch?
I've heard people talking about giant crabs. Yeah.
Well, now you can talk about them too. They're right here for some reason, which we don't know. I didn't really expect giant crabs to come out of nowhere.
I can't think of any. I've never heard of them attacking the city before. People usually run into them by them in the ones or twos, when they're out fishing or things like that. That's not a giant crab. She's pointing to one of the
No,
mutated monstrous ones.
no, those ones seemed a bit more intelligent. Is concerning, but it's also not a natural creature. Sorry about. He looks around. Well, you know.
Well, I got to thank you for putting a stop to him in any case.
Well, if you need something to eat, there's a lot of it.
She's like,
Cam is going to get one of the crabs that were roasted by the fireball. She's like, she tries to touch it and it's a bit hot still, and so she just like, she takes a piece of clothing that she's not wearing from her bag and just like kind of wraps it up and brings it over. It actually smells quite nice.
takes it from you, this huge crab leg in her halfling hands. Like, that does smell quite a lot like regular crab, just big. Well, might be able to serve this, but probably gonna have to close up since a hole's been blown in the back of the building.
Suppose that would be a problem. Is the weather all right now though? Like,
Yeah, it's fine right now. It's a little
so,
cool. It's an autumn evening.
um, so if you clean up the debris, it might act as a nice skylight.
Well, that's true, I suppose, in a way. All the same, I will have to board this up before this evening, but can we? I don't know. You're big and strong. Do you think you could maybe get the messed up looking one right off from away from the back door?
Oh, yes, I can help with that. I'm just gonna head over. She This thing is pretty big, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like the size. It's like the size of a horse, probably a little bit bigger.
okay, she's going to kind of wave Learas over. Learas, can you help me push this into, I don't know, back into the water, I guess. Is that what we're supposed to do? Will it just float to the top?
There's only one way to find out.
Alright, I'm gonna try to push it back into the water, see if
I
it
mean, with
ends
the
up
two
floating.
of you, with the two of you working together, it's no problem. You can push it off, and it does just and sinks.
Well, that's good.
I hope it doesn't disrupt the natural ecosystem.
Oh.
It certainly will.
Do you think it's infected or something?
There's nothing natural about that creature.
I don't really know any other way to get rid of it, so...
Just another part of life, I guess.
Lydia, do you
Yeah.
know? Do you know if there is? Do you know of anyone who's going out to Harbor Watch tonight?
Oh, tonight. No, most of the ships that the city sends out there leave in the morning, but she thinks for a moment. If you're lucky, if you head down to the old port, you might find a fisherman who's still cleaning up from the day's catch. Might be able to pay him to take you out. Probably be pretty expensive this time of night. You might get lucky.
I am feeling pretty lucky after I I tried the fountain thing earlier.
Indeed. Yes.
She thanks you for your generosity, I'm sure.
Shall we then?
Do you say shall we or shall we?
I said, shall we?
Okay, I heard shall we.
Crack the back off of one of the giant crabs and paddle it over.
Yeah. We are in a bit of a rush, aren't we? We probably should try it.
Probably the sooner we can clean up whatever led to them coming out this way would probably be best.
That makes sense. Are you okay then, Lydia? You're not hurt or anything?
Oh, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. This is just gonna be a lot of sweeping tonight.
All right. Well, let's head out then.
All right.
Head on to Old Port.
Right, yeah. It's maybe 20-minute walk. You get to some of the few remaining functional docks in the old port. This is by far the biggest and most complex series of docks in the city, but they've gone long unused. And most of them are starting to crumble into the harbor, except for a few that are maintained by some fishermen who are pretty much the only people who go out into the bay proper anymore. Takes a few minutes of walking around, but down at the end of one of the docks, there's a relatively small boat, single-masted sailing vessel of some kind, with somebody moving around next to it. Looks like wrapping up some ropes. Hard to see who or what they're doing from this distance. Well, it is dark out.
Does it seem like anyone in particular is taking lead right now.
Hello there.
Take that as a lead.
The figure stops what they're doing, looks up, and says, "Hello. What? Do you need some help?"
Perhaps are you the owner of this sailing vessel?
I am.
Would you be willing to ferry us to Harbor Watch, was it?
But like right now.
Absolutely, right now.
We're willing to pay you. Make it worth your while.
Sort of wraps up the last rope that he's holding, sets it down. And... I mean, well, how much? It's late. It's getting dark. It's going to be dangerous out there. So I've been out on the water all day. I'm looking to get home.
Well, how much do you make in a day usually? How much is a day's wage for you?
Well, it depends on how good the catch is. You know, we can 3 or 4 gold usually.
Well, I'm willing to pay you 1 platinum piece.
Like startles a little bit of that amount of money. You've got platinum.
Yes, and she's gonna like pull out she's gonna pull out her coin pouch, and she does have quite a bit of platinum. She's gonna she takes it out by like a handful almost, and then just like takes 1 piece.
Okay. Well, all right. You can see he's like thinking it over. Like he looks pretty tired. As if you walk closer to him, you'll see, a gentleman probably in his mid-40s with, very like weathered skin and windswept hair. It's like salt caked. I'll tell you what. I am going to run to my house, and I just need to tell my wife about this. She's expecting me home. 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Of course, yes. Wouldn't want her to worry.
Right. Yeah. He's like got his eyes glued on that handful of platinum that you've got. Right. Yeah, I'll be right back. And he just takes off running. Right. And unless you want to do anything with the time, about 20 minutes later, he'll come back a little bit winded.
No, I don't think so. Maybe just try to get a little bit of a rest, a short one.
Also, you can start a short rest. You'll finish it. You can finish it on the boat.
Okay.
You can get on the boat, get situated, get comfortable.
While we're waiting for this guy to come back, Wade's gonna turn to Cam and be like, in the future, just for safety, it might be better not to mention that you have platinum, or to show how much money you have out in the open.
She kind of thinks about it. She's like,
because you like shiny things, right?
I mean, look at the way that I'm dressed. I would assume that anyone looking at me would assume that I have quite a bit of money.
and other people like shiny things too, and if they know you have shiny things, some people will not ask, they will take.
Oh, I would like to see them try.
Some of them are sneaky and you might not see them trying.
You make a good point. I will definitely consider that.
All right. There a lesson about the better parts of discretion is delivered. This fella comes running back. All right. Ready to go?
Sure.
Any of you know how to sail, know your way around boats at all?
Oh, I not really.
All right, that's okay. That's okay.
Doesn't Learas know a bit?
At least you might know a little bit.
I think he knows. I think he knows some. I spent most of my time, reading books.
Hey, you know what? Don't worry about it. Just so this, this is gonna be like 5 or 6 hours till we get there. Totally not gonna get there till like after midnight. We're good with that?
Yeah.
All right. And it'll just walk you through, like, enlist your help in getting the boat shoved back off. This is usually the sort of thing that you have a couple of buddies for, but you know what? Looking down a handful of platinum, they'll do it. And after a few more minutes, the boat is away and heading towards the island and city of Harbor Watch.
It's so pretty.
And you can very much get your short rest in.
Sorry, how long did that take?
It'll take about 5 hours to get 5 or 6 hours to get there. Let me roll for boats for him.
Third level.
Did you say roll for boats?
Yes. All right. And after things calm down a little bit, after he's out of the harbor proper and out into the bay, it's like, sorry, I never introduced myself. Terry Cartwright.
Oh, yeah, that was fairly rude of me. I'm Camriel.
I am Wade.
Learas will introduce himself as well. Well, good to meet you three of you. What brings you out to Harbor Watch in the middle of the night?
Oh, well, I'm sure that you've heard that there was a lot of things going on with it seems like crab infestations.
Oh yeah, the giant crabs. Heard people talking about that around the dock. I don't go out to Harbor Watch. There's no fish there. Why would I go there?
Oh, so you're really going out of your way then?
Well, I know how to get there, but hey, for a platinum piece, I'll certainly go out of my way.
Well, we fought some back in town. It's kind of concerning that they're getting that close to Crystal Harbor, but we were able to take them out, so.
He looks a little bit perturbed when you say they're getting close to town. It's like, I've never seen him in close to town before. Whew.
I must have just missed him.
Wonder if something stirred him up.
Well, hopefully we can stir them back down. Did your family used to fix carts back in the day?
Oh, I mean, because I had an uncle that did that.
It'd be
Uh,
neat if you were the shipwrights instead of the cartwrights.
It'd be a little bit on the nose, wouldn't you think?
But isn't
And
that how
well,
names form?
Well, he's like you can see he's thinking. I guess I know if
It does make you wonder though, because there's some that, well, like I just met someone whose last name was Full Barrel. Did somebody have a full barrel in their family at one point, and then they just decided that was their last name?
interesting thing to name your family after. Though I did used to work with a guy whose last name was Fisher. And I never really thought about it before. Huh. Like very contemplating this concept that you've introduced to him.
like for some cultures, back in the day, it might have been easier to come up with names that related to your profession.
Is he human, by the way?
Sorry?
Is he human?
Yes. He is a human man, mid-40s, with like a short beard and salt caked in it and all that good stuff.
Cool. Okay.
Can I have you to roll perception checks for me, please, as you're boating?
Well, I rolled my passive perception 16.
16.
Where's perception? That's a 10.
All right. Wade, you notice as you're boating along that there is it's pretty still out on the bay tonight. It's not super windy. It's just the regular, very steady swaying of the boat on the little waves. But you notice that there is one looks like a wave that's moving perpendicular to the other ones that just sort of crosses in front of you and just carries on off into the distance.
It's not what you want.
Did you see that wave?
Did Cam see that or just Wade?
Just Wade.
Didn't look natural.
Oh, a wave that didn't look natural.
You know how they're all like, going their own way, but then it looked like one was like going against. It just, like one.
Like something's
Almost as if-
moving.
Perhaps.
Oh,
It-
wow. Hmm. You should be careful about that.
But the rest of the 5 hours passes relatively without incident and getting progressively darker. And after about 4.5 hours, you can see a few coming into distance, a few tiny points of light off in the distance. Looks like torches. as you near the docks to Harbor Watch.
I am going to use my Eyes of Night on the party so that you guys all have 300 feet of dark vision. Just in case.
Very useful. Yeah, no, that's helpful. Is as you get within, just as the docks come into the range of that 300 feet, you can see a man backlit by torchlight pushing something large off of the dock into the water. You're like, then picking the torch back up and walking further down the docks back towards the town, or what remains of it.
You suppose it was a body he was pushing?
I would hope not, but I wouldn't. I mean, considering our night, I wouldn't put it past for that to be the case.
Maybe just another giant crab.
Terry, are you going to stay here? Are you going to be okay going back by yourself?
Oh, he's like looking extremely tired at this point. I think it would probably be better if I stayed here, to be honest. I know there's a little outpost here. I'm sure I can find an empty bed somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that you should probably get some sleep, especially if you worked all day.
That's not a bad idea. But let's get docked, and then if we can figure that out. And it's just a matter of a few minutes more before you're just about to come into the docks, and that figure who was walking up and down with a torch seems to have noticed you and is heading towards the dock that you're landing on.
Fair. Cam is gonna kind of position herself to like be ready to greet them.
Like holding a torch out, looks like maybe a younger Hugh. You can see his face well lit by the torchlight, even with with the dark vision. Of course, you can see him anyway, but wearing some armor, looks like a guard. Wait, who's that?
Oh,
Cam, I'm Wade.
This is Learas. We're the Heralds of the Storm. We were sent here to help out with your crab problem.
Were you sent with a package by any chance?
Oh yes, she totally forgot. She pulls out the package from her bag.
Oh, great. He picks up a rope from the dock, throws it to the boat, and Terry catches it and pulls in and starts tying the boat off. It's like, takes it, opens it. This is great.
She's like curious. What?
It's like, oh, it's
What is?
We've got some wounded. There's about 6 or 7 hours ago, a whole bunch of crabs just up and attacked all at once.
6 or 7 hours ago, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
This one we got
Interesting.
attacked. Yeah.
You do know some of them made their way to Crystal Harbor.
That's new.
Those ones are dead now, but
Well, that's good. I've never. They don't go there. They don't usually even come here. I don't know where they came from, but they've only been bothering Harbor Watch recently. Ooh. Means we're probably not gonna. Oh boy. Okay, well, it's good that we've got these potions. Now we can get Brian, Toby, and Sarah back up on their feet.
Yes, I'm writing this down.
What's your name, by the way?
Oh, Marcus Benson. Good to meet all of you.
Benson.
Probably the son of Ben.
Well, you remember Benson's Goods in called? We forget what that place is called now.
That was in Stan's Gap.
Stan's Gap. Yeah.
Yep, Stan's Gap. Any relation?
Oh yeah, yeah, he's my cousin. Yeah, he's my cousin. Leo up there in Stan's Gap.
Good deals at Benson's.
They don't have much luck with their signage, though. I had been to Stan's Gap so many times, and each time I went there, the sign was covered in snow. I had no idea that that store existed.
I guess that happens up there. He said
You
they've been
need,
having
some sort of.
Last letter I got from him, he said they were having some kind of perpetual blizzard. Sounded nasty.
Oh, we actually took care of that. Sort of.
Yes.
Fight
Well-
crabs, control the weather. Is there anything you can't do?
I guess we'll find out. Maybe,
He
hopefully
sounds a
not.
little incredulous.
Do you need any help with your injured? I do have some healing capabilities.
These, I mean, that's what these potions are for. But if you can save them for later, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably. I don't know how much spell power you have left, but we were probably gonna. Were we gonna sleep? Sleeping's probably.
If you're not currently being under attack, I think, yes, I could definitely spare some magic for that.
All right, well, oh yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, come this way. I'm sure he's like, it'll be fine. He leads you a short distance up the docks, and you get to the city. It's not very large. This was just a little fishing village. Had been largely abandoned. Most of the buildings are tumbled down, doors falling off the hinges, rooms starting to sag and buckle. But there's a few of them that look like they've been either recently built or, when applicable, recently repaired. And there's one larger building near the top of the docks that has some light coming from the windows. It's like, yeah, just in here. And opens the door up, and it looks like there's a little it's kind of like a lounge room in here. There's like several tables, chairs around them, a fireplace with a fire going. It looks like the inside of a tavern, except there's no bar. And it's like, yeah, just off in that room over there. And he takes you through, opens the door in the back into another room, and there's several beds lined up on either side of this room, about 8 of them, 4 on each wall. And there are 3 people in various states of being injured, resting in some of them.
Does it seem like there's one in particular that is like very obviously they need attention right now?
Yeah. Make a medicine check for me, or if you want to do something else, let me know what it is and what you think that should be.
I could do medicine. Or not. I rolled 3, so that's going to be a 7.
They all appear to be equally unconscious.
All right. She'll go to the closest one then. They're unconscious?
Yeah.
Okay, then she's not even gonna ask for permission, really. Just kind of check over what the problem seems to be. But either way, she's using the same thing on them regardless. So it probably doesn't matter too much. She's gonna do she'll do a cure wounds at first level on the 3 people that
All
were
right.
mentioned.
So 2 of them, you so there's 2 humans, a man and a woman, and then a halfling. And the 2 humans, you touch them, cast healing word, and you just see, or not healing word, cure wounds, and you see some of their injuries close up. And then when you put your hand on the halfling and cast it, though, he goes,
Oh. Hello.
he's like looking around. It's like, and Marcus runs up. Oh, Toby, you're okay. Whew. Oh, good. This woman here said she could heal people, so I brought her in here, and it turns out that she could. Saved us some of these potions if y'all get injured again.
Which hopefully you won't get too injured. We are here to help.
And like during this conversation, the other 2 start to stir. You gather at this point that Brian and Sarah, the 2 humans, were just asleep, whereas Toby was stable at 0 hit points.
Fair enough. Was this all done by the crabs?
Yeah.
Big nasty ones.
Did they look strange? Like not normal crabs, not just small, or not just large.
Yeah, there was one really like weird looking one with them. It's like walking on 4 legs and had its other claws up in front of it. I've never seen anything like that before.
With like tentacles.
Yeah, like
Indeed.
that's what got Toby.
Yeah, those things were
Well-
not very pleasant.
You've seen them before.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
We fought
They
2 of those, right? And then, like, what, half a dozen or so
Whew.
crabs?
2 of them.
Don't
I was
remember
only 1 here. I wouldn't hate to seen 2 of those at the same time.
Yeah, I wasn't wearing any armor, and the best thing I could think of was to cast a fear spell on it so it would try and run away from me.
Sounds really useful.
Oh, is that what you did? That was very smart thinking.
I was considering, like, if I had armor, it probably wouldn't help much. So I figured I'd just try and change its state of mind.
Well, I did hear you yell, "Fear me." I just didn't think that you were casting a spell. I just thought maybe you were really persuasive. I'm glad I didn't try that.
It might have worked better if you had. I'm not the persuasive type.
Well, I still think that using my hammer is probably the best idea.
I'm just glad it worked out in the end. Do we have like an itinerary of things that adventurers such as ourselves are able to assist with?
Oh, yeah. There's one thing that's really pressing recently we haven't had a chance to look at. One of our patrols, the well at the center of town, about earlier, like, I guess it was probably like early this morning by now. One of our patrols said that they saw some sort of strange light coming from out of the well. That's definitely high on the list of being looked at.
Do they? Do you know where the patrol who was on patrol, that we could talk to them?
Yeah. I think Vic is probably asleep right now, but I can wake him up.
Should we get sleep and then talk to Vic?
I
I
think
figure if we
sleep.
stay up too late, it probably would hinder our ability to help.
I do think so. I don't like the idea of finding more trouble at the moment. The light in the well. Do you think that's kind of like what happened at Elva 10 Days? With the portal?
Maybe it's just like a well inside of town is not the size of like a storm giant's well. I don't know if a portal in a well that size would how much that would help them, but I mean it's possible. I know we found another portal somewhere else, right? A while back. And we'd come across so many strange things.
That is very true.
And another thing is, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask if we have somewhere to sleep for the night. So if you have something else to say.
I was going to say that if we do look into this well, it's going to be hard to notice a strange light once it gets brighter out.
I suppose that's true.
Well, if you're looking for somewhere to sleep, you can use these empty beds here.
We do know it's at the well, though, so we could just head there anyway in the morning. I don't think the light matters too much.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine if it were like really urgent, then you would have been like it was just a light. That's all. No other details.
Yeah, that was all the. Well, we're kind of spread a little bit thin. There's not a lot of guards. There's not a lot of people out here like on a 24/7 basis, and we're mostly on the lookout for giant crabs, and I guess now gianter crabs.
Oh, are you familiar with I don't know how much experience you've had with fighting these crabs?
A fair bit. I've taken down 6 or 7 of them myself.
And the big ones, Cam, could you just like when you were fighting them, it seemed like something happened and you fell down?
Oh, yeah. One of their attacks seemed to completely prevent me from moving. It seemed like it tried that perhaps multiple times, but it really got me good one time, and I couldn't move for a bit. And then it tossed me into the water, and then the next thing I knew, Learas was pulling me out.
And then Toby kind of perks up at this. That's kind of what happened to me. I was fighting it, and then I was real up in close to it, and then all of a sudden I couldn't move. And then I woke up here.
Did you like I didn't experience this because I don't have a lot of armor, I don't tend to do well up front. Is there like for anybody else who comes across these creatures, could you like describe like the events that led up to this so we could help try and determine like what's the best way to fight against that sort of attack?
Well, it tried to right before I froze up. It tried to attack me with those like awful tentacles where its mouth should have been. When they kind of stung when they hit my skin, and then I just froze. Which is pretty similar to the experience that you had, Cam.
Would Wade be able to, like, I don't want to metagame. How much would I know about, like, would I need to make a nature check or something to determine what sort of like that'd be my intelligence pretty much.
Yeah, you can make a nature check. You could make nature check, probably the best one for that.
It'd just be a straight intelligence roll.
Arcana might also get it done.
16.
16.
Straight intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, there's any number of creature that have, you know, various poisons that they, or other toxins that they, you know, have to defend or use as offensive weapons, and this sounds like some sort of probably not a venom, you know, nobody got bit to be injected with, but maybe some other kind of toxin that causes paralysis that this thing secretes.
Perhaps some sort of resistance to poison might be best bet.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. We'll have to I'll put some requests in for some potions for that purpose with our next supply.
Bed then.
But going to bed sounds good. I don't suppose we'll need to set up watch here. It seems fairly safe.
Hey, nope. I'm on night patrol, so if anything happens, I'll sound the alarm.
All right. She's going to like stretch out, and she immediately takes a bed and like flops down on it with this loud like jingle, and I don't think it takes her very long to fall asleep.
All right. And Wade, Cam, and Learas all get your long rests in.
Hooray.
As the night goes by. It's a little drafty. It's a little chilly in here. Some fire keeping the room warm, but not the most luxurious accommodations, that's to be sure.
I think Cam falls asleep that night thinking about how she could just get rid of all these gross things that are bothering her. And she wakes up feeling a little bit like, yeah, I think I could do that.
Wade goes to sleep thinking that if Cam and Learas, if something ever happens where they're both paralyzed like that again, he's not in a good spot. Squishy wizard.
All right, and I think we're gonna take our break a little bit early tonight. About how, you know, we usually go till 7:30 Eastern, but I think we're gonna go ahead and take our break right now, and we'll be back here in a little bit. So we rejoin back in what ramshackle building is serving as the limited watch garrison that exists in the city on the island of Harbor Watch, where our crew was just about to bed down for a long rest. Was there anything that y'all still wanted to do before the long rest?
You know, I really enjoyed all my interactions with the sailor who took us over here.
Well, it's a good thing Mr. Terry Cartwright is indeed going to spend the night here with you, as it would be foolhardy endeavor for him to try and make the 6-hour siege voyage back.
You'll be fine.
You know, it's been a while since I've been out to sea at all, really.
See what?
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, Leah's just like, I'm gonna go to bed.
All right.
Yeah, I think Cam is just she takes a little bit of time to just kind of meditate on what she thinks might be useful for the day that they have ahead of them, and probably swaps out some of her spells.
Great. Can I have everybody make a
Roll.
wisdom saving throw for
Oh
me?
no.
Make a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah. The guards are going to do it too.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah, that does not
That
make
is
me feel better.
17.
That
That is an 18.
wisdom saving throw +7, so 18.
Good to know.
Rude.
Maybe you all made the save and nothing happened. The night passes largely without incident. If anybody wakes up in the middle of the night, stirs, you might hear some scurrying outside, the sounds of wildlife moving about, but otherwise it's primarily just the sound of waves lapping up against the docks and the sea breeze blowing in off the bay. It's a little bit of a late morning when you wake up, having not really gotten to the island itself until about 2 a.m. So to get your long rest in. You're probably waking up around 9 or 10. A nice leisurely start to the mid-morning. When you wake up, the injured guards that you met last night, Brian, Toby, and Sarah, are still in their beds resting up, and it looks like Marcus Benson, who was the guard who greeted you on the dock when you arrived, you saw pushing one of the corpses of one of those hulking crabs into the water, seems to have come in from his watch at some point during the night, and is also sleeping in here as well. And then Shanks, for you, I think you may have missed this last time. You were told of a report of some strange glowing coming from one of the wells kind of near the center of town.
Got it.
The night before. I believe that was Toby who told you that the halfling guard among the crew.
So it's morning now?
It is. It's about somewhere between 9 and 10.
Okay. Cam is usually the last one up, so...
Yeah, Learas would be up early. I think he gets up like as soon as like allowable, more or less. He cleans his gear, prepares himself for the day, and sort of sits in meditation for a few moments, really thinking on the direction his skills have been going in, really sort of reliving those battles over the past few days and considering how to best apply his technique going forward. Feels like he's made some progress in really identifying and striking at the enemy's weak points, no matter who they are. But once he's ready, he gets up and takes a look around outside the structure.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I guess any signs of any sort of trouble, any they're aware of the sea creatures and the rats and everything else, so just kind of any signs of anything untoward that may be here or may have been here through the night.
Mhm. Yeah, sure. Make a perception or an investigation check, depending on how you're going about it.
I think perception makes the most sense. And that, what happened there? I fell into that little divot. 17 plus 9, so 26.
Very nice. Yeah, not at all surprising. You're scanning around, just taking maybe doing a little lap around the building in the morning, and there's signs of some not super fresh blood on the ground, which you'd kind of expect to see in the aftermath of a large attack where several guards were injured. With a 26, I'm going to say you capture, just for a split second, you kind of make eye contact with this rodent that it's poking its head out of one of the rafters on the building across the street. And the first thing that it strikes you is a visible brain poking out of the top of its head. And it looks at you with more intelligence than you would expect to see in a rodent before ducking back into the shadows.
Ooh, okay. Is this, what's the elevation of this hole?
So it is like poking up out under the eaves of the building across the street. So it would be 8 to 10 feet in the air.
Would I be able to climb up, even like hand over hand across the ledge of the roof or something, just to peek in?
Yeah, you can do that. It looks like most of the buildings out here are kind of neglected and partially collapsed. This one is no exception. It looks fairly unstable. I'm gonna need a acrobatics check on that one.
All right, well, that's a natural 1.
Well,
which sucks, but it's still a 9.
Hey,
which
yeah, you're going after. Explain to me what it looks like as Learas starts climbing up the side of the building, and when he gets up there, he grips on to part of the roof, and it turns that particular beam he's grabbed onto is just completely dry rotted away as it snaps, and he tumbles back down.
Yeah, I think he like grabs on like the lowest beam, like across the edge of the house, and just kind of swings with his body weight up, and like does like a leap through the air, grabs onto it, and immediately just falls.
No damage, maybe a little bruise to your tailbone and your pride, but with a 26, there's no one around to see that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Other than perhaps a cranium rat.
All the same, he's gonna just loud enough for anything inside that structure to hear him. He's just gonna be like, "I only want to talk. Are you there?"
Make a persuasion check for me.
Okay. I'm good at those. 19.
Okay. Right. That will... there is no immediate response, but that is noted.
I'm wondering if it's worth casting Speak with Animals with a brain thing that people said that they were speaking, right? The
Yes.
rodents here. So I probably don't need that. Okay, well, we only want to understand what's going on around here. So if you want to talk, you can seek me out. And then he's gonna just go. The well was kind of in the center of town.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a peek down just to make sure everything's kosher.
Okay, yeah, it's about 15 minutes away from here on foot.
Cam's probably gonna be asleep for another hour.
Well, Well, before we do that, before we go to that, is Wade up around and doing anything at this point?
Yeah, so Wade's taken some time to look at his spell book and ask himself, like, what might be useful in the adventures ahead. You know, he's looking at, like, the Ray of Enfeeblement spell, and he's thinking to himself, like, you know, this spell affects, you know, the strength of a creature, but in order to make it effective, you know, the creature has to be not very, like, doesn't have to have a strong constitution, but usually those two go hand in hand. So it doesn't seem like the most effective spell to, you know, keep around. So he's just looking at his spell book, preparing spells for the day.
Sounds good. Yeah. It's not too difficult to find the center of town. This is a fairly the buildings here aren't very dense. They're not very tall, and you know, looking down any road that you're in, you can see pretty much clear from one side of town to the other. Unless, you know, there's a building that breaks it up, but it's not so big that you can't see it. Yeah, and you head your way over there, and after a 10-15 minute walk, there is a very rundown well. It's still got some of the supports that were holding up, like the roof cover over it, but a lot of that, the covering itself has rotted away with time. But there be a hole in the ground.
Take a peek in.
Yeah. Yeah, make a perception check for me, why don't you?
Yeah, I can do that. That is going to be 27.
Awesome. And what's the range on Learas' dark vision?
I think it's the typical.
Either 30 or 60.
I didn't write it down here. I assume it's 60.
Okay.
But I will quickly look it up. Except my keyboard's being weird.
Well, doesn't really make that much of a difference in this particular application. You look down in the well with a 27. You see there is, at the bottom of this well, a pool of standing water down there. And what looks like, you can see off to the side, there is a ledge with a bucket and what remains of a rope hanging off of it, dangling off into the water. And what's very curious about this well is, yeah, you can see straight down into this pool of water and into the bottom of that pool of water. It is very shallow. It looks like it's maybe only 5 or 10 feet deep, and it has a rocky bottom.
Been there. But there's no glow that I can see.
There is, yeah, you got a 27?
Yeah.
Just ever so faintly, there is just a little tiny, it's almost like you can't even catch it when you're directly looking at it because it's so faint compared to the brightness of the daylight that your eyes are adjusted for.
Mm-hmm.
But off to one side, this is going to, if you're looking down into it, it's going to be to the southeast side of the well. There's just ever so occasionally a little.
Okay. Well, what color?
Predominantly purple.
Is that what color the mist glow prism usually is?
It is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Well, I'll head back and inform the others that that's what I think is down there.
Right.
And it is 60 feet, by the way.
Good to know. Oh, yeah, you make your way back to the guardhouse that you spent the night in, and it looks like you think Cam would be stirring by now.
Yeah, especially if everyone else is like getting up and stuff. She was probably like slowly stirring out of her sleep, and then as she was sleeping, she had found herself in a dream where she was sitting in the shifting woods, and she found herself kind of like walking into the tree where it's like changing colors. And she thought that was really pretty, and she thought to herself that maybe wouldn't be so bad to blend in with some things sometimes. And then she wakes up with a start and she's like, oh. And she like looks, her head like whips over around to Wade. Oh. Oh. I thought it was somewhere else for a second. Where is Learas?
You know, not here. He didn't really say, you know, we just sort of up and I don't know. I was looking at my spell book and I looked up and he was gone.
Oh, I see. That does happen to you sometimes. Even sometimes I think you've not noticed me as loud and bright as I am when you've had your nose in your book.
It's a good place to keep my nose.
She starts like kind of fixing herself up for the day, and are we going to go and look at that well then?
That's probably something we can do. We might, I don't know, maybe see if they got food around here first. Not, you know, there's always rations.
They at least have to have some crab, right?
Well, depending on what they've been, you know, what has come their way. I remember we saw them pushing the body of one of those nasty ones off the pier when we got here.
They did
Let's
seem
try.
to accompany those gross ones, though. There were some that were fine and then some that weren't, but let's go ask if they have food.
So the guard who you did some magical healing on, I believe, or yeah, last night is up and about. Toby doesn't look like he's currently in the process of eating anything. He's more just sitting at a table, like looking around, kind of looking at you as you walk over. Like, here's this discussion. It's like, unless you're interested in some standard issue rations, it's kind of catch what you want to eat out here. If you want anything more interesting.
Oh. Well, the one who's good at catching stuff is out and about. Rations it is then.
I do have one of those eggs if you're feeling like eggs, Wade.
I don't. How long have you had those eggs?
Long enough that whenever I take it out of the compartment in my bag, I immediately smell something horrible.
Are those the ones that Anath tried?
Yeah, these are magical eggs. Yeah. that Anath ate, and he didn't die.
I think it's best not to eat anything magical without
Do you think maybe it would
having a better
hatch?
understanding of it. Well, don't eggs usually require some sort of incubation process?
I don't know how.
Sitting on them, keeping them warm.
I don't know how cold it is in my backpack, so maybe you're
I
right.
don't know either. I haven't spent any time in there.
We did find them in a rather drafty basement, though. Maybe that's the kind of environment it needs.
But how long have they been in that basement? If it was the right environment, don't you think they would have hatched by now?
She's like, I really don't know. I guess only time will tell.
Say about this time, Learas, you arrive back at the barracks.
My people just bury our eggs in the sand.
Keep them warm or to eat for later?
That's just where they incubate. We cover them with sand and various seaweed and that sort of thing to camouflage them, and just make sure that it's the right temperature. And
Seaweed might taste good with them later too.
You came out of an egg.
well, yes, everyone does.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
No, I don't think that was us. I think that was a different group of people. In a very different world. One of them was huge. Kind of like you, actually.
I don't.
Right, that was.
And one of them was smaller and scaly. Kind of like me, actually.
We're noticing a pattern.
No, I don't think everybody comes from an egg.
Oh, they do. Yes. Sometimes they just hatch internally, and sometimes they hatch externally, which my people do. I could show you the diagrams.
That's that same book that Brielle looked at.
I have studied life pretty extensively.
Well, one thing we do need to study is this well that we've heard
On that
rumors
note,
of.
I did. I took a little walk out there just to peek inside. And I
Well, is
think
that
we're
what you
looking
were
at
up to?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I took a look around a few other things. Saw one of those brainy vermin refuse to talk to me, and then part of the roof collapsed entirely by itself.
Was the vermin trying to take over the world or something?
Barf.
I'm not. I couldn't really tell. It was a little pinky around the top of its head.
Cam is pretty insightful. Could she have noticed that Lyris wasn't being honest about the roof collapsing?
Make an insight contested by Lyris' deception.
Oh, I rolled a nat 1! So that's a 7.
I also rolled a nat 1.
What's your insight?
Yeah, it's an 8.
Ah!
Oh my
Thank you for the raid, Tavern of Worlds.
Welcome in.
Yeah.
6 sexy kobolds.
That's a
Joining
lot of
in.
sexy kobolds.
Oh, they came in with the Orbeez meats.
They could use that, and they've only got rations
The
right
meat.
now.
Give you a little shout out here.
But yeah, you can just barely. There's some just barely little give. Maybe it's something about the way that Lyris is walking that he has not been entirely truthful about the nature of the ceiling collapse.
Did you have something to do with that, Learas?
With what?
The roof?
I mean, I was trying to talk to the rat while he was there.
All right, then. Keep your secrets.
But you said you went that way.
Yes. I took a little peek down the well, and I think what we're expecting is another Mistglow prison. Which I think we were expecting anyway, weren't we? Given all the strange happenings and its Harbor Watch being noted on that map.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of the map, can everybody make me just a general intelligence check?
Intelligence 18.
10.
I mean, I can try.
You don't have to.
It has an intelligence of no.
I have a -2, so that's a 14.
Okay, so Wade, the map that you're looking at right now that's being shared with the stream is only part of a larger map that depicts the entirety of the Bay of Zemali and the surrounding area. The 3 points marked on the map on Harbor Watch are aligned perfectly northwest, drawing a straight line between the middle of the Fortune Narrows and Luspiali.
Ooh.
Point that out. I'm like, do you see that on the map?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Is this perhaps connected to the concept of ley lines that I've heard about? Fonts of arcane magic?
Maybe, I don't know.
Make an Arcana.
Said,
Make an Arcana for me, anyone.
I mean, I'm not good at it.
That's
But,
12.
Oh no.
oh, I got a 19.
You do have some advantage there too.
Yeah, might as well. Why not? That's still a 12.
Learas, you're not proficient in Arcana, are you?
I am not. No.
Okay.
Just a smart boy.
Yeah. And then Wade, it could be. Neither of you are, aware of a ley line that runs through the middle of Harbor Watch, but that doesn't mean that there isn't one, or that maybe there's something else going on with channeling magic some other way. But when you see, if these are all indicative of locations of some of these prisms, then there could be some sort of magical channeling going on.
Well, I suppose if there was a ley line, then somebody at the Weave would have recorded it by now. Perhaps it's more directing energy, some sort of artificial ley line. I don't know. I don't understand any of this stuff. My magical knowledge is limited in mostly natural, sort of quasi-divine magic.
Well, what if it... Because one of the things that we saw wasn't a natural occurrence, right?
We've seen a lot of unnatural things of late.
What if it's just like a trail? Some sort of indication of a path
Possibly.
taken?
So perhaps this creature in the Narrows is sending out minions to have mist glow prism in particular places. I don't know.
Well, like some magic users kind of, well, like a lot of clerics that I know just kind of get their power from a god, and there's other kinds of magic users that get theirs from something else. That wouldn't be completely out of reach if this thing is that powerful.
If there is a direct connection, we certainly have to be careful. What we faced so far will be the tip of the iceberg.
Maybe by the time that we're done dealing with all of these things, we'll be strong enough to deal with the creature itself.
One can hope. If we're lucky, perhaps dealing with them and removing the mist glow prism might actually weaken it.
Oh. That would be interesting.
Well, at least we're not the only ones with this knowledge.
Yes.
That hopefully we're not the only ones having to deal with it. Just want to make sure that, that every time we deal with a Mistglow Prism incident, because I don't know how long it takes to manufacture one of these,
If it's just us, it might not be making any progress at all.
Yeah, we could be at a standstill, or we could be making minimal progress. But I say for now, we can, if it is a Mistglow Prism, we can head to the well. And do you got that spell ready?
The one to get rid of the magic.
That one.
Yes, I do have that.
And we can, hopefully we can have a good vantage point for you to do that. Oh gosh. Do we know if that well is like widely used by everybody?
I don't think it's still in use. It was basically dry.
I don't know. Well, how about we head over there? How about we do that first? And we can come up with a plan of action once we get there.
Cam is gonna take out one of her rations and eat as they go.
All right.
Same here. Dry crackers and old shriveled meat.
Mine's like smoked preserved fish.
What kind of fish is that? Is that a trout?
Something about the way you asked that, really. Yes, it is trout, actually. It's salted and smoked. Keeps it edible for a long time.
The wonders of salt and smoke.
One a lot more abundant where I come from than the other.
Makes sense, yeah. It's a short 10-15 minute walk through what remains of Harbor Watch to get to the well, and I've got a map for that.
Ooh.
Oh,
that means
wrong
well.
There's two. I made too many maps. Yeah. So you find yourselves standing around this largely collapsed well with several rundown buildings surrounding you. It looks pretty much unchanged from when you saw it about half an hour ago, Learas.
The wooden structure around the well, does it seem sturdy enough to like support Cam's weight?
It might.
How about that tree nearby?
Yeah, the tree'd probably do it. It's worth noting it's not that far down. It's only about 10 feet to the top of the water, and then roughly 5 feet of water from what you could estimate.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we have an easy way down and up.
Yeah.
What if she were flying?
True, but doesn't that waste some of your arcane power?
You guys do know that I know how to fly on my own, right?
Well, doesn't that
do,
waste some of
yes.
your arcane power?
I suppose.
Why don't we rely on a rope until we don't have other options?
Are we trading?
We do have climbing gear.
True.
Let us
I don't know how
climb
it needs to
down.
trust these stones either. I'm just gonna. I'm already tying the rope. Just
Yeah.
Where are you tying
Yeah.
it to?
to the tree.
Hmm.
Yeah, tie it around the trunk and throw it down the well.
Oh yeah, you've got plenty of rope for that.
Perfect. Would you?
And
like
it does
to go first?
confirm the depth of the water down at the bottom, as you can see some of the rope coil as it hits the
And it
hard
looks-
stone.
It looks dark down there.
It does look pretty dark down there, yeah.
And Cam is going to use her Eyes of Night to give everyone the crazy super
10
dark
miles of dark vision. Might as well be.
Is that Venus?
It's just Cam.
That's what I meant.
Down the well we go.
Can I have a perception check from everybody, please?
Sure.
Fine.
Okay. Why are you
guess.
doing this?
That's an 11, unless you want to take my passive.
16.
19, which is my passive.
Nice.
I got a bunch of expertise.
We see Pinky and the brain.
What's this thing's stealth modifier?
Excuse me?
What?
12. Cool. Um,
And then he said 12, guys. He said 12.
Well, maybe that was after he added the stealth modifier.
Learas, you see a hooded figure to the east on this map, poking its head out from a doorway before pulling it back in.
Yeah.
He also said this thing, which I don't like. Now it's hooded.
It's hooded, so we can't see what it is.
Exactly.
Learas is very subtly gonna like pull them in close as they're like looking down the well and just say, I think we've been followed. Be prepared just in case. And then he is going to try to very quickly and stealthily move up to that wall next to where that hooded figure poked its head out of and see if he can't like peek in a window or something.
Right, make a stealth check for me.
Yeah. Now the big numbers are coming. Watch this. 24.
Nice. Yeah. So that is a good stealth check. So you see, now that you're a little bit closer, yeah, we can keep that 19 from before. You see this
That's
hooded
my passive.
figure. Yeah. If you want to make another active one, you can.
Yeah, why not? Okay, that's 29. I got a nat 20.
Yeah. Okay. Then let me pull up some art here for you.
Oh shit, okay.
I'm gonna
It's
send
gonna be
this to
Squidward in a
you.
hood.
I'm gonna send this to you in the Discord.
Alright.
Farting around.
Yeah. You see. Where is this? I have too many things open. There we are. You see something that looks a little bit like that.
Holy shit.
You notice this creature seems to be watching you, and then one of its gloves seems to slide off of its hand, but there's nothing behind it, and you see two little hands quickly reach out and grab the glove and pull it back up to rejoin the sleeve.
Alright.
It does not seem to have noticed you with your 7,000 on stealth or whatever it was.
That was actually a lower roll for me on stealth. But would I be able to kind of I'm gonna like motion. Can they see me? Like I mostly was like creeping up quietly to hide behind the wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna say there's no cover really between you and your party.
Yeah, so he's gonna kind of wave them forward and then like kind of climb through this window and get around behind the thing.
Am I able to share this on stream?
You should be.
Okay.
It is official Wizards of the Coast published material.
That's freaky looking.
Yeah. So he's gonna just kind of get around behind it and then not in a threatening voice, but you know, a authoritative tone a little bit. Say, so you followed me then?
You just hear like 1,000 startled squeaks at the same time as
Oh
this
my
creature
God.
like shifts backwards away from you without moving what appear to be its legs as
Yeah.
it spins around, and you see like dozens of little glowing eyes poking out from underneath this hood. It's like, you said you wanted to help.
I do. I'm willing to. Sneaking up on me isn't a good idea. I could have mistaken you for an enemy and slain you.
It is dangerous down in the well.
I
Start making my way
figured
over
it
there.
would be. Yeah, you guys can. We're expecting danger. We've dealt with these sorts of things many times.
It's like looking, you can see eyes, like little rat faces poking out in all different directions under this hood, now very alert on the 360 line of sight here.
Yeah. Seeing their panic, I'm just gonna notify them. My companions are coming. They also are willing to talk.
Just some of my brethren live down there. They're not free like I am. Please.
Something's enslaved them.
Well, we were always enslaved. Something distracted it, and we were able to break free.
When you say it, to what are you referring?
It called itself Solution.
Is there any way I could get a spelling on that?
Yeah. Absolutely. We sent it off in Discord.
All right.
We don't know what it was. He just served it.
Against your will.
He did not have will.
were you always as you are, or did this Soluvian make you this way?
For me, do you mean for the DM? Are you asking it if it was always 500 rats in a trench coat, or?
I mostly meant like sentient, psychically aware.
One
I
weird
assume
burst.
there's some sort of psychic sentience going on here.
It came out fully clothed.
Right?
Two groups of rats in trench coats got together and loved each other.
we have no memory of being any other way.
Okay. So should I encounter your brethren down there, what would you have me do?
I don't know. We have been trying to figure out how to free them like we are.
The Soluvian, is it in the well with them?
No, it is far from here.
Does it communicate through a glowing purple crystal?
It did. It has not tried to command us since we broke free.
And so you made your way to the surface.
Yes.
I hope you haven't been making trouble with the people here.
No trouble. No trouble.
Well, if you can continue that, I will do what I can to free the rest of them and make sure the people here are aware that you are not a threat.
We would like that.
Is there anything I should know about going into the well? You said it was dangerous.
There has been a creature in there. A large white creature with arms like you and tentacles for legs. It sounds very much like what you fought in the basement of Valtendi's castle.
Yup. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to shout that, but I'm upset. Okay, well, I am a little bit stronger since the last time I fought one of those. Wade, Cam, do you have any questions for our new friends here?
Has this conversation, was this like telepathic, or was this like 1,000 tiny mouse voices?
This was 1,000 tiny mouse voices.
That's crazy. I just want to say that.
My only concern, because I don't typically see sentient. How would you have us refer to you? I don't know if vermin or rats is offensive. I don't want to.
We are rats, but you may refer to us as the Squeaker of the swarm.
This is the first time I have come across something such as, you, the Squeaker of the swarm. Since I don't know how you came to be, our plan is to deal with the crystal. My hope is that in dealing with the crystal, your fellow Squeakers, is that? Your fellow Squeakers will be free?
Question mark.
I just want to make sure that, in dealing with this crystal, that you're not returning to a more primitive form?
We do not know if that will change anything.
I mean, it appears to me that their very biology has been altered. I don't think the crystal is necessary for them to retain it.
Then, all right. Well, we have a plan of action.
Yeah, go undo the crystal, deal with the angry squidman inside, and
Wait, the creature that is down there is different from the thing that you served. What did the thing that you served look like?
We never saw it.
They said it was far from here. You know.
you don't perchance have a sense of direction.
It one of its columns of rodents.
Like, everyone pull.
Yeah. It's just one little rat head pokes out of the end of its sleeve and is pointing in sort of a northwesterly direction.
Northwest or northeast?
Or excuse me, northeasterly direction.
That's what I thought.
I see.
The very creature that haunts my dreams. Well, rest assured, there will come a day where Soluvian will no longer be a threat to you.
We would like that. If we can help, we will.
That is very much appreciated.
We make the most interesting friends.
I know. First Anath and now this.
Yeah, never mind the guy who turned into a tree. And that's the weird one.
Right.
Anath is top weirdness for Learas.
Nath ate that egg and he looked like he exploded on the inside, but he was fine.
Bathed in skelegy, dove through a window into a room that was empty.
Oh man.
Oh, I'll never not laugh at that.
I could see it coming and I said nothing.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Just if there are any of my brethren down there, be careful. They can influence your mind, make it not your own.
Oh. That is a little bit disconcerting. We'll have to be on our guard, I suppose. Good thing I feel like the chill this morning gave me a little bit of a mental advantage.
Well, we'll do what we can. We do have to go down there anyway.
And we'll do our best not to hurt them.
We will be nearby.
Can we adopt this thing? Make David talk like that forever.
Look, I've been practicing it for 3 weeks.
I mean, if we did, we could maybe convince them to change their name to the Squeaker of the Storm. All right, let's climb down this well, shall we?
All right. Who's going down first?
I'm willing to.
Cam will go down.
Way it starts going down.
It's like Three
Let's fight
Stooges
you
this
for it.
well. Just
Yeah.
all
Now we're all stuck. Squeaker! First.
This group really has it together.
Oh my god.
You guys are killing me tonight.
Okay, let's roll for it.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Initiative, I guess.
Yeah,
Since
awesome.
you're all trying to get down the
Not
well
one,
first.
baby, so 6.
14.
What do we got here? That fell down. I think that's an 11, 13.
Play where it lies. Golf rules.
Well,
I guess Cam's going first.
Yep.
we all go to rush down, and then I just take like one more look back at my new friend, Squeaker of the Storm or Swarm. Storm
Well,
comes later.
someday.
Someday.
And I look back at Learas looking back at Squeaker. So
And Cam is going down the wall.
All right. Well, I will then take us to the bottom of the well map that I accidentally clicked on before.
There's crystals everywhere.
I don't see anything.
Give it a minute.
Oh, it's up here. I had to
Yep.
drag.
That's a drag.
Which, since you've got 300 feet of dark vision now, I'm just going to go ahead and unveil
Yeah,
what is
Just reveal the map, please. Thank you.
what you currently have line of sight on.
we need a bigger eraser.
It's an eraser.
How's that?
Eraser? I barely know her.
I think that's about what you can make out. Is there any attempt at stealth going down this well, or given the sort of bum rush mode?
Given Cam going down first, you hear a
Given Cam.
clunk. You hear a big clunk at the bottom.
I do think there's a good chance this thing is going to know we're here.
But I'll just reveal the whole thing.
Oh.
Save time later.
That's fair. So, okay. I suspect that the big one in the center of the map is the one that's giving off the glow.
That is giving off the most of the light that you can see. And if you peek your head around some of the stone pillars that are obstructing your direct vision from where you came down, yeah, you can see this pillar rising up. Not that much. So out of the top of the water, there's a very orderly crystal. Just a single pillar growing straight up, poking, I guess, about a foot out of the top of the water, presumably going down however far deep it goes.
These other crystals, though, are they also giving off a glow?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
They are mist glow prism, though?
They appear to be, although they're quite small.
Okay.
Little
okay.
clusters of little tiny ones.
It is still like an extraordinarily potentially valuable, volatile, unstable.
Oh yeah,
arcane
for sure.
thing. Okay. Oh. This is a lot of mist glow. I wasn't expecting so much.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that I don't have to use magic on all of it. That we might be here for a while.
I don't think so, because the goal we have is to prevent the connection of the mist glow to the creature behind all of this. And it seems like that's the one that's really giving off that sensation like the others were.
Mm-hmm. This one, you should note, is like much more orderly, for lack of a better word, than the other ones. Like the the chunk you dispelled in the water at the abandoned fortress on the cliff was, several medium-sized crystals growing in a an irregular cluster. What you saw growing in the cave underneath Silverleaf Vineyards behind the aging cellar was, in a regular cluster growing out of brick. This is it is one extremely large, from what you can see, no flaws, no irregularities.
So perhaps they are getting more proficient. Perhaps it was more intentional and less natural. I don't know, but that one does seem to be our target.
Yeah. How hard would you say it was to have dispelled that last crystal?
Oh, hard. Not very. It was.
Just-
We'll need to find somewhere to hide around a corner, though. What if something? I'm worried about the space that we have.
How high?
There's plenty of cover.
How high
here.
are how high is like the ceiling?
The ceiling is not, so it's a little bit difficult to indicate slopes on this map and things. So the level of the water in the pool that you're standing next to is a few feet higher than the level of the water in the larger pool. So from the top of the water in the big pool to the ceiling, there's gonna be about 10 feet. You're almost Cam, there's some things that you're gonna have to duck around where you're standing right now to not hit your head on the ceiling.
Okay. And when we dispelled that other piece near the will-o'-wisps, the radius of what happened after that was pretty large, right?
It was, but it wasn't as large as the range on Dispel Magic.
Okay. Maybe if we hide around a corner or something?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Well, there's
Should we?
plenty of cover here.
Should we make sure that none of those rats are around here? Or, sorry, squeakers.
Well, perhaps, but the swarm up above warned us that being in their presence could cause them to try to alter our minds, and should we lose yours, we lose the ability to disconnect the crystal.
I am pretty easy to distract. Okay, let's do this quickly, and then we'll just have to hope. Maybe
armor.
Over here or something. If we could we squeeze in around?
Yeah, there's enough space to squeeze around for that one. Well, let's hold off on that for just a second. Let's put yourselves back where you were for just a moment.
I don't like that. What?
So you wanted to check first, and you had mentioned checking and seeing if there were any swarms of rodents down here. And as you are approaching this corner, where you're going to have to step pretty gingerly to not, because this is maybe a 1 or 2 foot wide ledge right here, and it's pretty slick. It looks like this rock here does at times get wet. There's some algae growing in here. But as you near that corner, you can hear some movement coming from around the other side of the corner.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to peek then.
All right.
And she goes like this. like she has any right to tell anyone to shush.
Let's try and get that stealth check. If you're trying to shush.
Just her or all of us?
13.
Anybody who would like to try and be stealthy may make one.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's 17.
19.
All right.
Wait, sorry, I have disadvantage on stealth checks. Still 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, so you poke your head around the corner and you see, staring back at you, a large pile of hundreds of these rodents, and I think now we might need to get into some initiative as one of them leaps towards you with several others following, kind of a wave of rodents.
I think we found them.
All right. Let me pull up
Yeah.
the initiative.
Oh, come on.
10.
What you got, Learas?
7. Which is
And-
one higher than the nat one I got last time.
Well, it's better. And Cam?
6.
6. Very nice. Auto initiative. That's great for me. Cool.
No.
So, you poke your head around this corner, see this swarm of rats in front of you. How does Cam react when one starts jumping towards her?
She goes like this. Instinctively.
Great. Then you do not see the milky white tentacle that reaches up out of the water and tries to wrap itself around your leg as a creature pokes out from underneath the water.
Yeah, creepy bastard, yeah.
These guys. No.
That guy's all right. So it is going to make it's going to make its attacks at you, Cam. So first, it is going to. So that is going to be a man. That's a pretty low roll. I don't think this one hits. Yeah, that's going to be a 13 to hit.
That do not hit.
But then following behind it, a second and a third one. It's going to be a 17 from the second one.
Nope.
And the third one, that oughta hit. That's going to be a 25.
That do
Oh,
hit.
shit.
All right. So it's fun that that's the third one that hit. So Cam, as this wraps around your leg, please take 3, 7, 12. Please take 17 points of psychic damage as this
Damn.
grabs onto your leg, and you just feel this blast of psychic energy course up your leg and sort of disorient you a little bit. You have disadvantage on wisdom saving throws until the end of this creature's next turn.
Oh boy.
Damn, not good.
All right.
That's not what you want.
It is not what you want. And then movement 30 feet. Cool. Coming out from around this corner to the southeast is another secondary swarm of these rats, which charge around the corner and start running towards y'all. It doesn't look like they're able to quite make it to you, but this first swarm gets right up in your face, Cam, and just all of their little tiny brains just boom, 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 start glowing.
Oh, no, we don't want to hurt you.
Can you please make a wisdom saving throw for me?
Of course, it would be that right after that. Okay. That's not too bad. 18.
18 with disadvantage?
Yeah, I got an 11 and I have
Dang.
a 7.
Look at you. Okay, so you successfully resist its attempt to dominate you.
She closes her eyes again. We really don't want to hurt you. And somehow just her shouting like blocks out what they're trying to do.
All right, but that is their turns. So Wade, you're up.
Do I have a line of sight on anything here?
You can get line of sight on Swarm B without too much difficulty.
Balls.
You can also see part of the creature that's trying to grapple Cam, but it would have probably 3/4 cover from you.
I'm not really kitted out to not kill things today.
Just kill the thing in the water.
And like, just because 500 rats in a
cannot-
trench coat ask you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it.
Okay, so we gonna try casting. I don't even know if this is a good idea. Try casting slow on Swarm B. Do I got
Okay.
range? And that's 120 feet. I should have range on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Slow. All right. Which saving throw is that?
Wisdom 15. Just so
That is gonna be. It's gonna be a hot 9. They are slowed.
nice. That's a concentration spell, so hopefully that won't come into play.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's, I don't know. I don't have a lot of other type of actions, so that's me.
Great. Learas, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna push my way through my companions here gently. No,
Of
I'm
course.
trying to hurt them. And then once I get to the ledge, I would like to do like an aerial flip and land
Sure.
in the water next to this, the scummed word.
The
Scumbag.
If you would
Well
like to
said.
roll acrobatics to see how badass it is, you are entitled to do so.
That's going to be a 22.
It's as badass as you want it to be.
Yeah. He literally he's like dodges aside, steps forward, draws his swords, and just flips into the air, doing like multiple rotations, lands perfectly, and then as soon as he does, you see like the colorful scales forming on his hands, and he brings his hand up, and light just explodes from his hands. I'm casting Hypnotic Pattern on Cranium Rats A and Skum,
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
which is
Good
going
move.
to be a wisdom saving throw.
So the cranium rats get. Oops, I just closed their monster page while I was trying to click on it. One moment, please. The swarm of cranium rats gets a 17 on that.
Okay, that's going to pass, unfortunately.
Oh no.
And the
What about
creature in the
scumbag?
water, that's going to be a 13, though.
That's a failure. So he is incapacitated.
Is this this is not a charm, is it?
It is. They become charmed for the duration. Yeah. Why does he have?
It this creature, you gather, is unaffected by abilities that would charm it.
Shit. Okay. Well, realizing that my natural abilities have failed, what I'm going to do is cast Hunter's Mark on him as a bonus action.
That's 2 leveled spells in a turn.
Ooh, that's a good point. Shit. Yeah, for some reason I didn't think of that because of like how Hunter's Mark is special to me, but that's absolutely accurate. Okay, well, I'm actually out of action economy then, so I'm just going to move into melee with him and hopefully draw his attention.
Sounds good. Then Cam, you're up.
Cam is going to, when she finally opens her eyes from yelling at the swarm of rats, her eyes start to glimmer, and you see these like golden, like spectral wings just like burst out of her shoulder blades. I'm gonna use Radiant Soul. Just kind of set myself up here. And then also she raises her hand and raises up her shield closer to her. And she's going to summon her spiritual weapon behind Skum.
Oh, I'm realizing I meant to say something to Cam before she did all that, but it's fine.
Fair enough. But yeah, and then I guess I can hit at the same time as I summon that, right? Okay.
Yes.
Does a 15 hit the Scrum?
Let's find out. It does. A 15 does hit.
Cool. Where that? Okay. Apparently I didn't take my D8 out, so I'll just use D&D Beyond for that. That is 11 plus, because of my Radiant Soul, plus 7 damage. So that's 18 radiant damage.
Solid crack on its head from your spiritual weapon there.
Yeah.
Seeing the explosion of Cam's magic, Learas is like, Cam, the crystal, free the rats first.
Oh, okay.
I got distracted by doing flips.
A worthy cause, to be sure.
So we're also right here, you know?
Yep. I'm the closest to it, and I'm telling you to do it.
Alrighty, we're doing that. That's the end of my turn, though. I'm gonna stay right where I am.
All right, back up to the top of the round. It is the Skum's turn, and it is gonna take its attention to you. You see, it had been trying to attack Cam with its, trying to reach up and grab Cam, but you notice that it is also holding a trident in one of its humanoid hands, and it levels that at you. Makes 2 attacks with its trident and 1 with its tentacle. So that's going to be, one of them very badly misses. The other one is going to be a 20 to hit from the trident.
Well, yep, there's nothing I can do about that. That's going to hit.
So it'll be 5 points of piercing damage, and then it lashes out at you with the tentacle, and that is going to be, that's more. 19 plus 7. So yeah, that'll hit for sure. That was a big roll. Please take 24 points of psychic damage, and you have disadvantage on wisdom saving throws until the end of this creature's next turn.
I would rather not. Is that an option?
No. Make your case. All right. So let's see.
Did you not use your advantage on that?
Advantage on not getting hit?
I don't know. Whatever just happened to you.
There's not. It's an attack roll. There's no nothing to save against. So then let's see. That is Swarm B's turn now, and it is. What is the range on that? 60 feet, of which Learas is in. Hey, nobody's looking at him. So, Learas, this Swarm B is going to try what Swarm A tried on Cam. Please make a Wisdom saving throw for me with disadvantage.
Just wondering. This. I don't know how to do things on here. Pan, nope, draw. Doesn't this thing here block its line of sight on me?
It doesn't it seems to know where you are.
Well, that sucks then.
It seems to know where you are.
Okay, now you can use your advantage.
So you could use your advantage to cancel that out and make it a straight roll.
I guess I may as well. Wisdom save?
Yes.
That would be a 5.
Fuck.
All right. So, Learas, you feel hundreds of tiny wills pushing themselves into your mind to form one larger driving force. And
so slow.
Yeah.
Here it's slowed, right? If the creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action, roll a d20.
Ooh.
On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn.
That's one of the following spells. 11 or higher, it's that's what we want for it to not affect this turn.
Yes.
The 6.
You son of a bitch.
Unfortunately.
Why do you only roll well against me? I'm the only one.
No, these Rowan dice, the dice that I bought for Rowan have it out for you, I guess. You know what? There's actually rat bones in these dice.
Oh man.
Tried.
So I'm what? I'm an NPC now?
Let's see. You will be issued commands by the swarm of rodents. And
Do
let
I
me
get
see.
a command this turn?
Let's see. Can you the creature's charmed, telepathic link. You can issue commands, no action required. Yes. So it is you get the commands of attack, and this is attack the interlopers, basically is the command that you get, clearly referring to Cam and Wade.
Okay. So there's no room of interpretation there.
Alas, no. Exactly how those attacks end up happening is up to you, but that is the command. And the way to break this, it says each time the target takes damage, it makes a new wisdom saving throw against the spell. If you succeed, the spell ends.
Fair enough. Okay.
All right. But since it's slowed, that is Swarm B's turn.
Can make its wisdom saving throw now at the end of its turn.
It's going to be a hot 4. Swarm A is going to turn its sights to, let's see. Where are you? we are.
Hi, I'm right here.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, its attempt to dominate you having failed. You just this wave of rats swarms around the corner and runs for you, Cam, and is going to make its bite attack against you as hundreds of tiny little rats with exposed glowing brains run at you. Ooh, I think that might hit. 23, yes it does.
Yep. Gets under her shield.
You put your shield up and they just like flatten out and then rise up
Yeah.
on the inside.
That's going to be 11 points of piercing damage and 6 points of psychic damage.
17 total.
Could be a lot worse. Sam.
It rolled. It wasn't an awesome roll for the psychic damage. All right. Now we're back around to Wade.
So I'm thinking, if I created water, would it be enough to like wash them away?
Tell you what, given where they're standing, right, it might be enough to wash some of them away. I'll give them a dexterity saving throw against that. If that is what you would like to try. It would probably knock some of them into the water. If they failed.
What if I cast it at 3rd level?
Does it create more water at higher levels?
When you cast a spell slot of 10 additional gallons of water for each slot above 1st, so it'd be 30 gallons of water.
Okay, that is a decent amount of water all at once. That might be able to knock them off of Cam.
Whatever. You know, I'm gonna try creating 30 gallons of water to wash them away.
What is your spell save DC?
That'd probably be like a 15.
Okay.
15 for whatever dexterity, I guess.
All right. Hey, that's a 12. Yeah, so describe what it looks like as you dump 30 gallons of water on Cam and wash the rat.
Oh no.
So it's like
Like
an invisible bucket is just pouring this water, and you see these rats just like falling off the edge.
Yeah, there's since it's, this is a swarm, there's lots of individual entities that make it up, but the large majority of them get washed off of Cam and many of them get knocked into the water.
Is Cam like soaked now?
Yes.
Thank you, Wade. I needed that. She says. Through her hair that's like matted down to her face now.
Anything else from Wade?
Nah, that's it.
Right, Learas, you are up.
Okay. Learas is going to climb back up onto the rocks here. As he does so,
we're finally getting the showdown between Learas and Cam.
As he does so, he casts bark skin on himself, and you see rainbowy scales forming all over his body. And he closes the distance with Cam and begins swinging his swords at her.
Certainly try.
All right. Well, that's going to be an 18 to hit.
She raises her shield. Learas?
He doesn't seem to even respond to your voice. He just swings blindly and then brings up his other sword and swings at her shield again for a 17 to hit.
Miss.
And then finally, as his second blade collides with her shield, his other sword comes out around the other side for a 25 to hit.
That's
Silver
going-
barbs.
Oh,
Oh shit! Which brings it down to a 17.
hey!
What does that look like? Does Wade like intercept it, or it just like doesn't happen at all?
You see like this like a very small, compact, like what you'd see like a flashbang in front of Learas, as he sort of just gets distracted by like these lights, and then I guess that would give you advantage on your next whatever you want for that, Cam?
Cool.
Attack or ability save or whatever.
We really
That's my
need to
turn.
with this crystal.
All right. Anything else, Learas?
No, that's it. That's everything I can do.
Cam, you are up.
She's gonna try to dispel that thing. You said it looks more kind of like compared to the one with the will-o-wisps. It looks like it's a lot more put together, right?
Yeah, like this is. You know, if you've seen like oh man, what is the name of that cave? It's like this cave in South America somewhere with giant, like 30-foot long quartz crystals growing in it. It kind of looks like one of those. It's extremely smooth, no visible imperfections that you can see. You know, perfectly. What is it? Hexagonal.
I think the thought comes into her mind then when Wade had asked her how difficult it was. She's gonna play it safe, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic at 4th level.
Okay. So, let's see. 4th level Dispel. Yeah, I'm still going to need you to roll for that, but you get add a +1 from the higher spell level in addition to what you would regularly add.
Can I use my advantage?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool.
What type of roll is this?
This is a spell casting roll, so this would be what, a wisdom roll
Isn't
for
it-
you?
Oh, fair enough.
Does silvery barbs count for that, or is that separate?
I'm not sure. I think it would.
Because it
count.
says attack, roll, ability check, or saving.
This is
throw.
this
it's
is an ability
ability-
check. This is
yeah.
an ability check.
Okay, so you already you got advantage for that from silvery barbs too.
Cool.
Cool.
That'll be a 19.
19 will get the job done.
The first one I rolled was a 4, so
Well,
Thank you,
thank
Silvery
goodness for that. Okay. Let's see, Cam, you're just out of range. But Learas, the cranium rats, and the scum are all in range. Learas, can you make a Constitution saving throw for me, please?
oh boy.
Nope.
Cool.
Not unless the DC is 7.
It's not. Well, if
might-
it makes you feel any better,
Oh,
neither could
have it-
any of them.
Wait, I have advantage still.
Yes, you do.
Why are my dice treating me like this lately? Is the
It's just
DC by any chance 8?
It is not.
Is
Fucking
that,
hell.
is that the last of your advantage now?
Yep.
But this might end up working out for you, because you are going to take a little bit of force damage and psychic damage, along with the cranium rats and the scum.
That's fair.
Might need to revivify after all.
Yeah, you might. Well, they said a little bit, so maybe not.
So that's going to be 10 points of force damage. Yeah, that's a proper roll. All right.
Shit, I gotta find something 'cause I don't have it down here.
And 25 points of psychic damage.
25
Mm-hmm.
plus 10.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so,
shit. Give me a second.
yeah, I need a second too. There's a lot happening here.
That's
So
a good point. Would the swarm of rats count as a creature? Or
It does. It does
Okay.
count as a creature.
okay.
I don't know what I'm trying to do here.
Okay, so fail, fail, fail. So that means
Okay, so it is. Okay. Sheet. Okay, so it was 35 total. That's one. That's like one bang. That's not like multiple.
yeah, that is one discharge of arcane and psionic energy as Cam unleashes this dispelling energy at this crystal pillar rising up from the bottom of this pool of water, and just this blast like the one that you saw up on the cliff emanates out from it. Although you have taken damage, so please feel free to make another wisdom saving throw against Dominate
I
Monster.
did. I rolled a 3.
That's not enough.
Yep.
But the swarm of cranium rats needs to make a concentration check now that it has taken a decent amount of damage from this.
It's not dead though, so that's good.
No, that's going to be an 11 on their concentration check, so they actually lose concentration on Dominate Monster.
Cool. It was Cranium Rats B were within.
Yep, just barely. Just barely. Like, Cam, you're like 1 foot further away from the crystal than you need to be not be caught up in it. So you feel like this energy just catch some of it wash over you. Not
As
enough.
Learas in front of you collides with the wall and just looks battered and bloody.
Oh no.
But the good news is it looks like the thing in the water and both swarms of rats also got their shit rocked by this. So and the glowing and the little motes of light that were hovering around this crystal just fade down. Anything else, Cam? That was just your action, I believe.
That was. I have a bonus action. I'm going to pull it. She just kind of again like I think she steps in front of Learas here, sort of. And she's gonna pull her spiritual weapon into the back of this thing again.
Nice.
Which is a 20 to hit.
You know it.
And wish I knew how to navigate anything. That would be nice. That'll be 7 plus 7 from my ASMR thing, so 14 radiant damage again on the Skum.
Very nice. It's looking like it's taking some damage here.
That's good. I'm not concerned at all.
Fireball, no?
All right. Anything else? You stay and put.
That's where I'm staying.
All right. Back to the top of the initiative order.
Am I able to say something to these rats near us as I recover myself from the explosion?
Yeah, I'll say sure. Yeah, you can do that.
We know your friend, the Squeaker of the Swarm. He sent us to free you.
Okay.
Yep.
They may or may not respond on their turn.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, so up to the Skum, which is going to look back at the crystal, and it is... Yeah, it's going to dive down under the water. It gets about... Let's see, yeah, it is... It dives down, and you can see it looks like you can see the bottom of this pool of water in here. It looks like it might be 30 or 40 feet deep, kind of hard to say. But this creature plunges through the bottom, what appears to be the bottom, and just continues and disappears. It kind of becomes a little bit out of focus before just being lost among the murk of the water.
Go get him, Wade and Learas.
All right, so then it is on to Swarm B, which is still slowed. So remind me, that is, its speed is halved, and it can take action or a bonus action and can only make one attack.
That sounds right to me.
You're asking about slow?
Yeah.
Its speed is halved, -2 to AC and Dex saving throws. Can't use
Okay.
reactions. Cannot use either action, bonus action, but not both.
Okay. So, seeing what has happened, it is going to it's going to advance a little bit. This very sluggishly moving pile of rats. Going to turn its attention then to, yeah, you, Wade, and no longer concentrating on a spell, is going to cast something at you as you see its little tiny cranium start glowing more. Can I have a wisdom saving throw from you, please, Wade?
Oh, what are we about to cast Fireball? That's a 17.
Hey, that makes it. Yeah, so you feel and all these like varying different commands and direction and confusing pieces of information just all flying at your head so very quickly it starts to become a little bit disorienting, but you're able to block it out and do not suffer the effects of the confusion spell. Being in melee, so that is going to be Swarm B. Swarm A, yeah, they are pretty intelligent creatures, and they can see that Learas is quite badly injured, so they're going to try to swarm up on you and make their bite attack, Learas.
Oh, I didn't persuade them at all.
Make an insight check for me.
Okay. Now I roll above a 10. 23.
You recall what the Squeaker mentioned, that before it broke free, it did not have will. It did not have agency. You gather that these are probably under the control of something else that's less inclined to listen to you.
I was hoping that disrupting the crystal would free them of that. All right.
Alas, it did not.
Damn.
But they're going to try and bite you. And with a 4 on the die, they don't.
Because that probably would have done it.
But they're going to stay there, and then we're back around to Wade.
Balls. How to grant them sentience? Where's that spell?
Grant sentience.
That's Tasha's mind whip, right? I just whip their mind into shape.
If you want,
Devo.
if you want to make an Arcana check to see if you know anything about how to disrupt mind control or something like that, that'll be like a free action. You can just do that if you want.
That's a 20, just like straight intelligence.
Arcana even, so more.
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, so there's a number of different ways you could do it. Dispel magic might get the job done. Remove curse could get the job done, depending on the nature of the link, or spells that, not that a wizard would have access to these, but spells that remove conditions, like the restoration spells, lesser restoration, greater restoration, might do something.
I don't have any of those. I'm gonna just quickly blurt all that out to Kim, like, dispel magic, restoration, remove curse. I don't know.
She's used to hearing him ramble like that.
I don't know. I can either attack them or not attack them. What do I do?
Throw a fireball in the water.
I'm gonna squeeze through. I can't really squeeze through there. Ping. So just south to me, is there like a spot? Can I see through there? I'm just trying to figure out if I can see that scum thing on the water.
You would have line of sight from where you are right now to where it dove away. Make a perception check to see if you can see it.
Oh, that's a low roll. That's 10.
As far as it is somewhere that you don't know where it is at the moment.
Do I have enough room to like squeeze through the peeps and get into the water?
Yeah, you can. There's room between Learas and that pit. Like if you just go straight south, you've got an open shot to the water.
Okay, I go in. I want to see if I can see it and just. I don't know if I've never cast fireball into water before, but it's either that or would water walk be a contested spell?
Ooh, that's interesting. Let me read that spell. Learas, you have advantage again. Thank you, Cardman.
Thank you so much. I needed that. I am dying here.
Let's see here. Oh, willing creatures.
Okay, yeah.
No,
willing
it wouldn't be
creatures.
willing.
Yeah.
I'll make it willing.
And if you could charm it. But we've established it's immune to charm.
Would I have better line of sight to the thing now that I am not blocked by stuff?
Yeah, I'd say you can make, now that you're, how far down in the water? Do you just like jump in the water and you're just like floating there, or do you go down after it to try and see where it went?
I'm trying to see where it went and just, fireball its face in the water.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say you can, I'll give you another perception check here. The DC will be significantly lower since you're underwater and closer to where it went.
Literally the same roll. How dare you do that to me? I have advantage, right? I have an advantage.
I think you do, yeah.
Why not? Oh my god, that's a 1.
Okay, well, we'll take the 10. You're not sure where this creature went, but what you can see is what you thought was the bottom of this pool of water down here. You recognize now, you can see that there's some swirling and mixing and churning of water where this thing passed through a barrier. What you've got down here is a halocline where there's a pool of fresh water floating on top of salt water further down.
Okay, I am going to cast fireball in its general direction, excluding my lovely friends above the water.
So that's a 60-foot radius, right?
It's
Or is it-
Fireball is
What am I thinking of?
20-foot
20
radius.
foot radius.
Here.
40 feet. Okay, and the range is 120 feet?
150.
150. Nice. How far do you let it go before it explodes?
However far I think this thing would be able to move in the water.
You don't necessarily have a good basis for that. It looked to be moving pretty quickly, so I'll say it is more than 40 feet away from you. I can tell you that much.
I'd say 60 feet. No. If I did 80 feet, then 60 feet would be included in that, so it'd be like a, 60 to like 100.
Good decision.
Yeah.
That will put it in
Mhm.
range. All right. Hoo-hoo! That is going to be a 9 on a dexterity saving throw.
Here comes the damage. That is 27 fire damage.
I have to get some Wade soup over here.
That is very impressive. Yeah, so you can all see this burst of orange light deep under the water, and you can feel Wade, the ripples, and that barrier of salt and fresh water gets kind of disrupted and starts to mix together a little bit. The dungeon master, will tell you that you did hit it. What happens after that, you can't quite tell.
I cast Fireball.
All right, anything else, Wade?
No, I think that's pretty much all I got.
All right, Learas.
All right. Well, first I'm going to cast Healing Word at 2nd level on myself.
Good call, probably.
Very much necessary call. Okay. Oh, all right, plus, so not a lot, but it is what it is. My scales regrow, and then he just looks at this swarm of rats in front of him and just says, "I'm sorry, but my life has to come first." And swing his sword at them. That is a 21 to hit.
For sure.
They've taken damage, right?
Oh, yeah.
They aren't hunters marked. That's on the other guy. That will, however, be 19 piercing damage on the first attack. As he makes subsequent very rapid blows. That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah.
The
number to beat here is 12.
All right, good to know. This one, as it's surprised by the attack and distracted by Cam, I'm going to include my sneak attack because I didn't on that first one.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Not a ton, but that's still going to be plus 5, 16 more. And then rapid third slash, which is above 12, and that's going to be a huge 6 piercing damage.
Hey, that was enough for the 5 hit points that this swarm had left.
Shit. So you just see him like, "I'm very sorry," and just rat corpses go flying in every direction.
Yeah, it's just absolute carnage, and the few survivors get the message and just kind of scatter off into like little nooks and cracks in the rock and just otherwise disperse.
Okay, well, that's dealt with. I'm gonna go find the other thing, and Learas runs and dives into the water. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Well, I mean, he's going down. He's going like directly towards where he saw him go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he just goes straight down, and you can see now what I described to Wade: this barrier between salt and fresh water, disturbed by both the creature passing through it and then the blast of fire. Learas, you can make a perception check for me now.
Okay, and I'm making that with advantage because he's got my hunter's mark on him.
Yes, you are.
And that is going to be 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I won't lie. It's fine.
Well, the good news is you can see this creature now about 80 feet away from you, trying to head down. It looks like it was severely wounded by that fireball. It looks like it's making an escape. You can see this it's almost like a cenote or a blue hole. This just goes down and down and down, and as you cross, I think you've got just about enough movement to get to the halocline. Like you pass into salt water, and that tells you like this connects to the ocean somewhere.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Cam.
Cam is going to move her spiritual weapon to 20 feet closer to the rat's bee, but she's going to, again, just kind of in the same way that she did to the crystal, holding on to her her holy symbol on her neck. She's going to like make a sigil in the air and cast a spell magic at them.
Which level?
3.
Okay. I'm going to need to roll for it.
What am I adding again? My attack modifier?
Your spellcasting modifier, so your wisdom.
Okay. So that's a that would be a 17.
17 is what you needed.
Ooh. I was like, it's probably going to be an 18.
No, it was exactly a 17. And yeah, this, as you trace this sigil and let the dispelling energy go, there's this like a shimmer around all these rats. Is this like it kind of takes its takes the form of almost like a mist, just because there's so many different individual rats that are being dispelled by this, just some psionic energy leaving them and dispersing.
We don't want to harm you. We know your friend Squeaker of the Swarm.
All right.
That'll be it for her.
All right. We'll do a little bit of math. Okay, yeah. Is there... So we're still kind of an initiative. There's... Yeah, so the scum is going to continue running from Learas. The secondary swarm of cranium rats that you just dispelled seems to be a little bit disoriented and having some sort of conversation with itself. There's all these squeaks, and you can see all the little brains like boom, just like flashing one after the other. Some sort of communication is going on. They're not acting hostile toward you.
I assume the scum's moving faster than I could ever hope to catch up.
What's your swimming speed?
30.
It is very similarly quick to you.
Okay. I thought it went like 80 feet down in that first turn.
It did.
Okay. So it's going to keep moving. It's going to outpace me no matter what I do.
Eventually it will outpace you unless you can hit it from a distance.
Not underwater. I can't. I mean, I don't think my longbow is going to work. So
I believe the rules are that if you have a swimming speed, you don't suffer disadvantage from attacks underwater.
Yeah, but I don't think that's melee attacks.
Let me read the rules.
I mean, realistically, a longbow would not work underwater. So,
well, also realistically, there wouldn't be 100,000 rats in a trench coat that you just had a conversation with. Okay. What's the weapon's normal range?
I don't. Why did I not write that down?
It's a longbow?
Yeah.
You're definitely within normal range of a longbow. So attack rolls have underwater ranged attacks have disadvantage if you're within the weapon's normal range, which you are.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll take a shot at it. Why not? I doubt I'm considered hidden from it, so nothing I can do there. Oh, I have disadvantage anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that is a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
All right. So that's going to be the D8 from the longbow, the D6 from Hunter's Mark, and a D8 from Hunter's Prey.
We're within a range here. It is attainable to you.
Okay. So that's going to be 17 piercing damage.
How would you like to kill this?
All right, he's swimming and seeing it outpacing him, and he's just, in a last-ditch effort, just like lets go of his swords, pulls his bow off his back, knocks the arrow, and draws it back with his feet. Like literally puts his feet on the bow and pulls back as hard as he can, lining up his shot, and just... You see it like spiraling through the water until it just right in the back of his head, and he just...
That's badass.
Nice. And then it slowly starts to float up to the top of the water, and eventually...
Learas swims up to meet it, like taking his weapons back and stowing everything, and swims up and literally like grabs it. Is it wearing anything, or is it just like it's just a creature?
It's
He
just a
grabs
creature.
whatever flaps or tentacles are on the back of its head and just holds it out of the water. He's like, I got him. Maybe by the arrow itself.
Yeah. It does have like these gill-like structures around its neck that you could grab too.
It hooks his finger in it like it's a fish. Just
All right. I think we can take us out of combat.
all right. Should we maybe take a little break since we've been going?
I think now would be a great time to take a little break. So stick around. We're going to be back to deal with whatever it is that these guys do next in a few minutes.
And I'm not
All right.
right.
So, the calm after whatever that was that just happened, the body of the tentacled creature floats to the surface as Learas goes around collecting his things from the water. And, we're here. There's still a swarm of cranium rats over there. What would we like to do?
Well, this is not something like we properly did before. So I'm going to pull the scum up onto the rocks and really investigate it, like really examine it, try to figure out. I mean, first of all, one thing I forgot to mention is that because it was hit with Hunter's Mark, I should know any resistances, vulnerabilities, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, you gathered that it is resistant to psychic damage. Does it do conditions as well?
Does you know whether that creature has any immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities? And if the creature has any, I know what they are.
Okay. So that's interesting.
Condition.
So-
If it's an immunity or resist or whatever to a condition, then I should know that as well, I would think.
It is resistant to psychic damage, and it is immune to being frightened or charmed by you.
By me specifically?
It is not. It does not. There are some things that can charm or frighten it. You are not one of them. So it is. It is
Okay.
not blanket immune to fear or charm.
It's immune to it as far as it concerns me.
Yes.
That's fine. I can live with that.
What about emotional damage?
That's the most of the kind of damage that it does.
Yeah, I mean that's psychic and charm. Like that's
Yeah.
Okay. But then like Learas will actually kind of examine it further and see if there's anything he can glean about it. I already know it's an otherworldly creature. But given that it's like aquan in nature, like I'm just wondering if there's anything else I can learn about it, if whether it's things that my people have fought in the past I might have heard about, or if just natural, you know.
Okay. You're gonna get the best information about this from a medicine check, but if you would
Mhm.
like to make something else, let me know what it is.
I mean, you know what? I'll do the medicine check. I think that makes sense, and I'm not terrible. I'm not terribly unintelligent or anything, but we'll see. It's a 14.
14. Okay. So you are kind of given this thing the once over, and you know you're familiar with hunting creatures and their anatomy. This thing has like the bone structure of its torso and arms and head is that of a humanoid, like you would expect from a regular humanoid. Its fingers might be too long, but it has the right number of bones. Its joints are relative to each other where you would expect them to be. It appears to have vertebra.
I just realized I don't like where this is going.
It's kind of like you if you turned into something else, which that doesn't happen in this game.
We haven't seen any sort of substance which can do that.
Yeah. And those
Certainly
things, I
not
mean,
multiple times.
and those humanoids turn into things like trees and other things, and that's fine. This one's a little bit more sea-oriented.
Which might indicate some things for Learas. And maybe wait.
I'm not liking this, guys.
So you may come to whatever conclusions you wish from that on a 14, but you do notice those things.
Learas says, like, you really are scum.
Well, whatever you were, it's not what you are anymore. And he tosses it back into the water. Cam, I'm pretty much broken. Can you help me?
I was just going to ask if you're okay. You weren't yourself there.
I don't know what happened. I've been honing my skills for so long, and I feel like I finally figured out something integral to maximizing how I use them, and it just didn't work. I couldn't avoid attacks. I couldn't land them. My mind was taken over.
You guys are like standing in like a shallow sort of pool of water. Are you swimming like?
Sorry, I had pulled him up onto the rocks and then tossed it back in. So like.
Oh, okay. So you're standing next to me now?
Yeah.
As Learas is like venting all the stuff, like I'm just picturing that he's talking the way that you currently were, where you kind of had like your head down a little bit. And Cam places a hand on his shoulder, and she's going to just like keep listening a little bit. But then she like kind of moves it up to like right on his like neck sort of, and she's going to use her Asimmer healing, which gives you 7 back, 7 HP. So you kind of see it, like feel a glowy warmth kind of spread through your neck as you're talking. And then she's also going to use that same touch to cast Cure Wounds on him at 2nd level, which 18.
Ooh, good.
Just like, I think you did the best that you could. I felt it try to mingle with my mind, the rats at least, and that other thing was difficult.
Yeah, I felt its tentacle weaken my mind, and then the rats took that opening. It's almost like I need to learn to create my own openings as well. And that's nothing compared to the disturbing thought I just had about that creature.
What do you mean?
Everything we've seen connected to all of this is a force that seems to change people, mutate them. We saw what it did to Broxel.
You think that that thing was a different person? Or is...
Well, it, sea creatures like that, tentacled ones, they tend to be squishy, boneless. But in this case, it seems like the tentacles were grown out of a humanoid skeleton.
Fate's gonna point at it and be like, "This isn't natural."
And unfortunately, we know there's a few of them. And unfortunately, I know of a few seafaring humanoids that went off to this creature.
I can see why that would be disturbing.
I mean, I know intellectually that that thing, whatever it was, could not be called kin. Not anymore, at least. But the idea that maybe this thing did this to my family, made them monsters like this, when they sought to protect this bay. I dare say the thought will haunt me for many days to come, at least until I can put that thing at the bottom of the sea for good.
Well, let's hope that you're wrong about that.
Yeah.
But like I've said, I'm here to help you with that mission. You don't have to do that alone.
That's becoming very clear that that's never going to be a possibility. As proud as I was when we first met, I've come to rely on you two time and time again. I'll never be strong enough on my own to fight something like this. But our unique skills multiply each other.
We do seem to work together better more and more each time. And with this rate of getting in a fight like almost every single day,
Which used to feel so much more normal to me. But now the things we're fighting. By the way, did you manage to free those other rats somehow?
yes, I used Wade's suggestion. I dispelled magic and it seemed to... It was a
I'm
little bit
confused.
tough.
Did you use suggestion or dispel magic?
Well, Wade was...
I suggested that she use dispel or remove curse or restoration.
Oh. Well, that was sharp thinking, Wade.
It was a little bit tricky, so it must have been that whatever was influencing them was fairly strong, but I managed. Same with that. And she pointed to the crystal. It was resistant to the magic. It wasn't as simple as some things are to dispel.
And I'll say too, now looking at the crystal again, now that the combat has like that sort of urgency and attention can be turned elsewhere, you notice that, you know, when you dispelled the one up on the cliff, it sort of bent and distorted the land around it and, you know, gave that strange viscosity to the water. That did not happen in this case, but if you look directly up from the point of the pillar of crystal, there is sort of a almost like a you ever seen those like blocks of glass that look like it's got a lightning bolt inside, like cast inside of them, like the crackle of electricity? There's sort of that shape of stone, rock, whatever ceiling material spidering out from the ceiling for a couple of feet.
Yeah, I guess like when she points to that, she's like, "Oh, I didn't see that. I also didn't think about what happened last time and you guys were in the water. Oh, that could have been very bad."
Well, we were out of the water when you cast it.
Oh, I suppose you were. It was all very confusing and very quick.
I wasn't sure what the creature was going to do. I thought it might be able to retune the crystal or something, or maybe try and get reinforcements or let somebody know that the crystal was deactivated. I just didn't want it getting away.
Yeah, I agree. Letting it get away would have been the most dangerous thing we could do. I got concerned when I saw how fast that thing could swim, faster than anyone I've ever seen. Fortunately, it wasn't of a mind to dodge.
What? How did you guys kill it?
With my
I
bow.
just, you know, steamed it a little bit in the water.
Wait, you cast Fireball underwater?
I was interested to find out what would happen.
I assumed it wouldn't work. That's really impressive magic.
It certainly is.
It definitely seems like a more useful spell now. Of course, I'm very water-minded. You know, I always thought, well, fire magic and all that, sure, but, you know, at home it would never work. Apparently I was wrong.
You know,
You guys should remember that combination for some other time.
Fireball, then an arrow to the back of the head.
It will work
Hard to
every
beat.
time.
I can't think of a better combo, really. Should we see if we can communicate with this other swarm?
I look over. Does it still seem like they're kind of conversing with each other?
They're actually all sort of sitting down on their haunches, kind of like a dog sits, and they're all looking directly at all of you.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
I don't know. I
Hi.
actually think it's kind of cute.
We didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, you have good manners too.
We're sorry for what happened here, but we are friends of the Squeaker of the Swarm.
I want to communicate this. We are the Squeaker now.
Oh, so you are the same as the one above. Like you are
Yes.
one?
We are in link with each other now. We thank you for your help, and we mourn our brethren that you were unable to save, but we celebrate the ones that you were.
I'm very sorry that I couldn't keep the others alive. I knew that it was them or me at that point.
We understand. We would choose our own lives over anyone else's as well.
Do you intend to, and this, I apologize if this is a rude question, do you intend to merge with the swarm above and become an even bigger swarm?
It is complicated. We already have, in a way.
I see. I was just asking because clothes that would accommodate that size might be difficult to come by.
Their relationship status has changed to complicated.
Yeah.
Squeaker of the Swarm is in a complicated relationship with Squeaker of the Swarm.
Right. Now that's a polycule.
Two swarms don't make a rape. I don't know. That's not me.
We'll workshop it.
Okay, but we have some pretty badass allies now, though. I'm just gonna say.
You have a
A giant.
a tree, and 1,000 rats in a trench coat.
That sounds like a joke.
2,000 now.
Yeah.
They all walk into a bar.
Right?
Would you like help getting to the surface? Can you climb a rope?
We can climb a rope. We can climb the walls. The rope would be easier.
Oh, well, you're welcome to climb a rope. Do you want me to bring your clothing up for you?
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Are they not in a trench coat like the other one?
No.
Nope.
They're
Oh,
There
just
were just a
cutting.
swarm earlier. They can't manifest it now.
Manifest a cloak.
Yet. They can't do it yet.
So they aren't born with the trench coat.
No, they're not born. Answering that question once and for all.
That's what all the fans were wondering. I could feel their collective wonderment, Like...
I have an extra tunic that I'm not using.
We appreciate the offer. We do not need it. It is mostly to hide. We already have a trench coat.
One trench coat per Squeaker of the
Swarm?
Swarm.
That's what Grandma always said.
One trench coat per Squeaker.
All right. Well, Learas is gonna lead the way and climb back up out of the well.
Right.
And for some reason, I just expected to get up there and have like a bunch of guards ready to arrest us. For some reason.
How dare you get them?
You get up there, and there are no guards waiting to arrest you. There is,
Woo.
however, a trench-coated figure leaking out of a doorway. I tried to say
they
leaking.
could, right?
I mean, they
Rats
could.
pouring through.
I tried to say leaning and lurking at the same time, and that's how we ended up where we were.
All DMs
man.
have made this mistake.
Yes, we have. And as you know, you climb up, a number of the rodents scurry up. It's like just this rope becomes encrusted with rats as they all scurry up themselves and each other and climb up. And some of them run to join the Squeaker, which seems to like puff out a little bit, and then others of them in small groups disperse off to other places.
As we said, if you ever need our assistance, you will have it.
That's very much appreciated. We may well call on you someday. Out of curiosity, I imagine being rats, you probably struggle with water.
It's not great.
Mm.
Yeah.
You wouldn't by chance have any way to grant action or resistance to psychic effects?
We do not.
Well, those are the most immediate thoughts that I have on our greatest needs in the future, but I'm sure at some point we'll need your assistance.
We are very good at going unseen, except by you, apparently. And we are good at gathering information. If this would be useful to you.
Kindred spirits, I think, you and I.
Information is always
Oh, sorry, wait, go ahead.
No, I said information. It's always valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't really have a face, so to speak, but the dozens of sets of glowing eyes, you can see some of them kind of curve up into a general sort of half circle at the bottom of the hood.
And if you ever want to converse in your native tongue, I'm able to do so, if that's something that you would find pleasant. I'm gonna cast Speak with Animals, actually, and like they've been they're offering their help, and yeah, I'll burn the spell slot for it.
Oh boy, this is a lot easier.
Oh, so you actually do find this simpler.
It really is. We have to work together a lot to make human language, or well, you're not, but they have common. You know what we mean.
The common tongue, yes. It is more complex, though, to be fair, I find this one harder to perform, but I'm happy to meet you halfway.
We appreciate it. We want to make you an offer. If, we really don't have a good way to deal with water, and if there's any other place that you would like us to surveil for you, you could take some of us with you and let us go there, and if you kept one of us on your person, we could communicate with the rest of them.
Ooh, that is cool. Oh man, I'm gonna relay that information to the rest of the group. Is there anything that immediately comes to mind for either of you that would be the most effective way to utilize what they're offering here?
The hall.
You want to put them in the hall? Really?
That's the first place that comes to mind where we're lacking information on specific figures.
I'm drawing things on the map by accident.
Alright.
I mean, yeah, certainly. Would any of you find it unpleasant to be apart physically from the swarm, or is your connection deep enough that it would not bother you.
Our connection knows no bounds of distance.
Well, then when we head back to the mainland, perhaps some of you could join me on the ship, and we could make arrangements.
Some of us will be waiting by the docks for you.
The place that we'll be leaving you will be warm and comfortable with plenty of food lying around, so it should be rather pleasant.
You sense it's like a general feeling of excitement.
And should we think of anything else, I will let you know.
We will be here and there and all around.
I fucking love these reds.
These guys are gonna end up like multiplying like crazy and just being all over the freaking place. Well,
So what they offered us was that like some of them could go off and just like be eyes somewhere else.
be surveillance for us, and if we keep one of them with us, they can communicate with us. It might require me to, if there's only one with us, it'd probably require me to use speak with animals, but it could certainly, it's intelligent enough to notify me when it has information for me.
Okay. It'll take Cam like 5 business days to catch up with an idea, but it's but Bix, I think, has an idea.
We probably don't need to send them to Alvatinde or anything. She can already communicate with us as she needs to.
Yeah, Cam has someone on her mind that she's kind of concerned about right now.
You're gonna send a rat on like a 12-year journey to the west?
Yes.
Feifel goes west.
You
like
go
red wall over here.
You go and see my friend Annette, and he'll turn into an animal or something. I don't know what druids do.
Well, this has been an interesting day. I'm still pretty bruised, even with the healing magic, which I greatly appreciate. Perhaps we take a little break and then look into one of the other problems that these people are facing. A little beyond the cave. The rats were one of them, but we need to talk to them about that because the rats aren't dangerous to them. There was the crabs, but we more or less have to wait for them to surface, right? Unless we could figure out where they're coming from. And
we're not going to clean up the whole bay of crabs. I doubt it. So, yeah.
We could.
We could?
Well, it's probably not pressing. It's just that those things are dangerous, and when they surface, people can get hurt. And my family at once was the protectors of the bay. We kept everything in check and made sure that it was a safe place.
Oh. You're right that it's probably not pressing.
There's only so much we can do, given our current, knowledge, abilities. Sorry.
How about we figure out what the situation is first, and then we can determine whether or not we need to get rid of all of the crabs. We don't know how many there are. We don't know where they're coming from or how they're coming here. So we can find out that information first, and then before we start asking ourselves, well, do we need to get rid of all of them? We don't know. We don't know yet.
And I suppose the reality is they're coming from the creature in the Narrows, which means that we're not ready. But we'll figure out what we can do for them and what they need from us. And once we've accomplished what we can in Harbor Watch, I'd like to go further inland and find these other points of interest.
Oh, right. There were other things to look at here.
We got lists.
So, do you want to rest here, or should we go back to the makeshift watchtower thing?
Let's rest here. And he's gonna sit down and pick at his rations.
Y'all are up top now, right?
Yeah, we're...
All right. So we're just about at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think that's probably a good place to leave it for this week. But yeah, you can go ahead and take your short rest, and we'll pick up there in 2 weeks.